What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about everybody's making a big deal about Shai and his flopping, right? And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of flopping, but I don't think it's a bigger deal as some people might think it is. It's a nuisance, but I think that it can be easily corrected. Basically, in my opinion, the refs just have to stop calling it because back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s, especially in the 80s when basketball was so much more physical, you didn't see guys flopping like that or trying to draw fouls like that. And the reason why I believe that they didn't is because number one, you legitimately you got fouled hard, so you didn't have to fake it. Number two, if you did, if you did flop in an NBA game and your opponent scored on you, you wouldn't, and they got an easy basket, you wouldn't be on the floor for very long. If you kept doing things like that. So you saw some flopping, but not really a whole lot of flopping, especially guys on defense wanted to try to get charging calls. They didn't really go for that. Or if you shoot the ball and you fall to the floor, just trying to draw the foul. Basic in basketball, when you shoot the ball, the next thing you want to do is follow your shot. That's what everybody got taught back in the day. When you shoot the basketball, you should be the one who follow the shot up because you have a pretty good idea of where that ball is going to come off, right? So that's why I don't really think. I think like once the refs stop calling it, it'll be it'll be over with. And everybody is saying, and I agree, Shai is really so good that he don't really have to do that. So I think that'll be easy corrected. But Shannon Sharpe made some interesting comments about Shai and Flop. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the audio from the nightcap show. Then I'm gonna come back and give some more input.
Of effort you're gonna have to take on the road, and you see the difference, Joe. You see the difference when they don't. Every time Shane look at somebody, they blow the whistle. You see this?
Yeah.
You see the difference when he's shooting 3-4 free throws. Now he's still. He gonna fall down. He gonna shoot a shot and fall.
Yeah.
If I didn't know better, hell, I thought the snipers had got it. I was like, damn, bro, can you stay up? Why you keep falling every time you shoot the ball? You like one of them fainting goats.
Numbers to the Thunder. SGA got bumped. He'll come to the line.
I'm like, well, damn. And look at this. They are how many free throws? 12 free throws tonight. They were 11 to 12, 92%. The other team, if you can keep them off the line and they don't call every time because Shai's going to sell everything.
Yeah.
Say he has a store that sells everything. He doesn't have all I sell is veggies. All I sell is couches. That joke will sell auto parts. He sell couches. He sell veggies. He sell produce. It doesn't matter.
Hey, but notice tonight, Uncle Joe, as physical as the game was, the ref held the whistle a little bit. The ref let the boys play ball tonight.
They should.
The game of basketball is physical. The game of basketball in the playoffs is even that much more physical. Now we've seen the ref, be a little whistle happy. Tonight he letting the boys play until the fouls were egregious, and you have no choice but to call it.
Hey, and you got to give San Antonio a lot of credit, bro. They never let none of them OKC guys get into a rhythm.
No,
you know what I mean? Them boys guarding, they physical. Like I said, man, they came home, did what they were supposed to do. Y'all ain't coming up in here and getting no damn win.
Nah, you're not celebrating on our court.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. It won't happen today.
All right. So you heard what Shannon and his crew had to say, right? And I basically agree with him. But now remember, Game 7 is going to be in OKC. Ain't no guarantee that they're not going to get those whistles, right? And so you see how ineffective, I don't want to say really ineffective, but you see how it changed the game when Shai didn't when he didn't get those calls. So if Shai goes into Game 7 and he's relying on those calls, I think that Shai hurt his team more so than he helped his team. So hopefully what happens with Shai is, he just go in there and he play basketball and he focus on taking care of business and doing what he has to do. But if he go in there and he expect the calls that he want to win like that, he gonna hurt the team, and it's not going to be things I don't think are gonna go in his favor. You can't really get into the habit of depending on the refs. And that's what, that's why I like, old school basketball, because they didn't do that. They didn't rely on the referees. It's, a lot of times you would hear players say, exactly that. We can't leave it up to the refs. This is up to us. And for some reason, I think that Shai is going to have that mentality going into Game 7, Saturday night, because if he look at it any other kind of way, he basically going to hurt his team. And I think the refs are being put on notice because it's, this thing is big, and a lot of people are complaining about it because they say it makes the game look gimmicky. And like I said in the beginning, I don't like all the flopping, going to the floor on every shot. I just think it's unnecessary. What Shai said about, he said that, he understood how people would, they don't like to see it, especially people who are not fans of OKC. Now, he said his fan base, because they're having success and they're winning, that's the fan base. He's more partial to them because that's his fan base. But like I said, when the referees take that off the table, that flopping, and Shai realized that he's hurting his team, then he'll gonna have to go ahead and play some basketball. Who else is a big flopper? You have Harden. What's the guy? James Harden is somebody who flops, a lot. And like I said, I think the reason why Shai is probably getting so much more attention is because you're talking about a guy who is a 2-time MVP, right? And so people think, wow, this guy's an MVP. You don't even have to play like that. You don't have to flop. This team is very good defensively, and they're deep on the offensive end. Shai, in my opinion, is not even having a really good series, like playoffs at all. So, I don't know. I think that the Spurs are, in my opinion, they're doing everything in their power to not give this guy easy shots or easy fouls, where as though he's going to have to go to the line, because the Spurs know he's, that's what he's looking for. So everybody got their eye on Shai. And basically, I don't think Shai is going to go into this game just looking for fouls and being able to depend on those fouls, because, everybody is watching that so closely now. And so Game 7, man, coming up, they got to go in there and take care of business, not depend on the refs. But I don't think it's a situation where Adam Silver need to get involved any more than probably just telling the refs, don't even call it. And I remember Dwayne Wade. There have been a lot of basketball players who get fouled a lot. Like Dwayne Wade got fouled a lot. He used to go to the floor all the time. Allen Iverson got fouled a lot, right? But those guys were they took legitimate fouls. But and it's obvious that this guy Shai is not taking legitimate fouls. So we'll see Game 7, man. But if he goes in here on Game 7 and look for fouls and hurt his team like that, that'll be something else. But after this year, he won't even, he won't even trying to look for these fouls that way. He'll go in there and just try to take care of business and just play strong, like the way they used to do in the old school, back in the day, right? But yeah, I don't like it, but I do think that this is it's annoying to see, basketball players. This guy, his bag is just entirely too deep for him to have to play like this. So I basically agree with Shannon Sharpe. and the crew, you don't have to do it. You really don't. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.